Har, ladies and gentlemen, it be Talk Like a Pirate Day here at the TBR Handicap event, London 8. Talking of the high seas, the Portuguese have a strong history of conquering on the high seas, and it is with great excitement that we see Bruno Vieira, that is Aussie Bruno, back at the TBR event this week. Bit of talk. We thought we weren't going to see him again. We thought his schedule wasn't going to line up, but he's back here again this week. Can anyone rein this man in? As we're seeing initial rollout now, another big week, another 50 plus field for the Big Ring Handicap, and the lead group starting out well. We're just watching the initial rollout there. Racing is live on the video. We see the initial bunch rolling out, and surprise, surprise, Aussie Bruno off the front early again. We'll see if Dino's had the calculator out this week, and if it's had any effect. Can it bring him back to the field? It looks like people are just bringing him back there, and he is indeed mid-group on this lead group as we come up Northumberland Avenue. Spoken of this many times before, so we'll just let the riders sort out their positions on the road and summarise that for you shortly. So the initial flurry's settling down somewhat. We're settling into a lead group on the road, which looks to contain riders like Burns, Petchak, Fantana, Bruno Vieira, Plumbers there, as is Tran, ride leader Davies, Rowbottom we've seen perform strongly, and Petchak just off the back of that group at the moment. So we're seeing a few people who don't have the correct handicap in that lead group. We'll see that they will be weeded out by the end of the ride. So the lead groups looks to have settled to about a group of 8 riders on the road. As we see here, Jason Tran just off the back of the group. Is he going to be able to hang back on? It's really imperative that you hang on for as long as you can, although we saw last week riders pay later on for using up too much energy in the run out to the mountain. Tran has got back on there, so that's great. This is Bruno Vieira again, trying his luck off the front. I don't think he even is connected to a TV. He's not worried about what anyone else is doing. He's just riding his own race, putting out his standard 400 watts. We can see his heart rate. He's working hard, but the group just brings him back in there as they start to cross the bridge. Out to the hill climb now. We want to get straight into it. Bruno Vieira is off the front of this group by 2 seconds. Then two riders Kip, Fantana, Plummer, Davies is there, Burns and Tran. But quickly we switch to Vieira, who had a 2-second lead on the bunch at the climb, and they just look to be bringing him back here. So maybe the handicapping system is bringing the bunch back together as it's supposed to do. He's working hard still, but here now we have Bruno Vieira and Brian Fantana riding this hill side by side. Now, I've spoken to Brian today. There was a bit of a suspect comment last week. He has confirmed he does love potatoes, so it's okay. He doesn't like the fact that we're all talking about extra spuds as the unit of weight handicap, but that's not up for him to decide. As we've just been working through the field there, following up on the riders, chasing up for the minor placings. But I think this week the battle and the main interest is going to be Vieira v Fantana. Irish-Australian versus Portuguese. Here they are. Don't mind the golden flame of Dino. He's just there. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not on his handicap weight. He's still sick. So he's just riding along, just providing the golden beam of light for others to follow perhaps. But we move forward. This is Fantana, and he's asking questions of Vieira. It's the first time we've seen this in the race series. Brian Fantana looking to move 1 second ahead. It may not seem a lot, but I think that's the most we've seen in this race series. Fantana moving ahead. Peter Kip third on the road, and looks like Wilson fourth, Tran fifth, to Burns riding with Rowbottom. Plummer after that, a second Kip, Abramovsky, Arthurson, and Sandro Costa Beale. And look at this now. So Bruno Vieira putting in a huge effort trying to claw back Fantana. This is intriguing. He looks like he's going to get back on terms, although Fantana not giving up easily at all by any stretch of the imagination. And he just can't quite seem to get there just yet. Miserable conditions up the Box Hill climb, I should mention. Vieira working at 100 cadence, putting out 500 watts, and he does in fact get on terms with Fantana and goes past him. What will Brian have here? Will he have anything left to respond? Looking with Brian now, and he's on Bruno's back wheel solidly. So they've come over the plateau. One pinch to go before the descent. Bruno Vieira leading out. Both riders going deep here. This is Brian now trying to come back on Vieira. Vieira putting the pressure on now. Looks like he's holding. You can just imagine these two in their own living rooms on opposite sides of the world, and they're doing battle on this hill. And Bruno's pulling away. This could be it here. Is the rubber band snapping? Fantana looks like he's letting go of Vieira. Vieira powering over this last little pinch, and he's opened up 1 second, but he doesn't look like easing up. So that is a fantastic last-ditch effort from Bruno Vieira. We'll see. Does Fantana have anything left to respond with? That's Kip in third, Wilson fourth, Tran fifth to Burns and Rowbottom. Arthurson, the first-time rider we see there, and Abramovsky after that. Also, Anthony Plummer behind. But I think all interest is at the front of the race. We haven't had such a close battle for first place on the climb as yet. This is Fantana, and disappointingly for him, Vieira has opened up 30 seconds on the descent, so very powerful over the top of the climb. This is Vieira. We'll give him his screen time. He's learnt the lesson. Big momentum, big power up the escalator. 600 watts there from Bruno Vieira. I don't know whether he was just teasing us or whether it was gamesmanship, declaring that he wouldn't be back last week. But here he is. Brian Fantana riding a very strong race. But as we watch Aussie Bruno come across the line, well deserved. Totally well deserved. Yet another victory for Aussie Bruno Vieira. Brian Fantana in second. Fantastic ride. Handicap becoming a bit fairer for Brian perhaps, and Peter Kip in third. I believe he came third in a real life event over the weekend, so great form for him. That was Gary Wilson we saw for fourth, Tran fifth, Burns sixth. It's going to be Rowbottom seventh place. Abramovsky getting up very early in the morning again for eighth. Arthurson, this is his first ride on the retro bike, doing really well. Plummer and Petchak in danger of having a sprint here. This has been the only one we've seen so far. Plummer starts up early. I think Petchak waves the white flag, so it'll be Plummer next, then Petchak. Harper crosses the line next, the second of the Kips, presumably a brother. Sandro Costa Beale close behind, and then Badams. We won't have time to cover the rest of the field as they cross the line. This has been another fantastic event. I would just mention the TBR Turbo Tuesday is the next race. It's a new event on the calendar. Hopefully you can come along and have a good race. No handicap weights for that one. As always, we look forward to your comments on Facebook about the race. We hope you've enjoyed the event. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss one, and we'll see you next time.